Eric Prince has a smartphone startup called Unplugged.
Well, you actually have a new product called Unplugged Phone.
We do.
Okay.
And it was actually a result of the 2020 election.
Okay.
But seeing what big tech was doing
right.
in shutting down platforms, certain apps, I would say impairing free speech.
Is that one of the phones right there?
This is one of the phones.
Okay.
This is an unplugged phone.
This phone was mentioned recently on Joe Rogan's podcast in a conversation with Ian Carroll.
I'm at the point where I'm starting to get, like, I'm not literally that paranoid, but I've had some conversations in terms of like people that want to leak a story, which I normally just avoid because I don't want to touch it. But every now and then I'm like, let's go on a walk because I don't want to hear what you have to say around any of this shit because I know it's being recorded. I know 100%. It can be listened to.
Do you have a crazy phone or you use a regular
No, it's just
phone?
an iPhone. Yeah. I'm aspiring to get one of those, like one of the Eric Prince phones or something like that.
That's when you've reached the next level of conspiracy. When you get a de-Googled phone that doesn't have 5G, you'll use 4.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people came down hard on Ian for suggesting this phone. One of these critics was Amazing Polly, who contends that Ian's mention of Eric Prince's phone was a paid-for product placement.
I want him to tell people that the phone he mentioned positively on Joe Rogan, Eric Prince's phone, was designed and is still run by people connected to Israeli intelligence. Why wouldn't he tell people that? Is it because, as I contend, that was a paid-for product placement and he'd have to give the money back if he corrects himself?
Now, while criticism may be warranted, is it fair to say that Ian Carroll was paid to mention the phone? This is a heavy-duty contention. And how do you even substantiate that? But let's go ahead and take a quick look at Eric Prince himself. He's definitely a polarizing figure. He's an American businessman, former Navy SEAL, and the founder of the private military company called Blackwater. One could even rightly call it a mercenary company. Well, let's quickly lay out the good, the bad, and the messy based on what's known about him, while keeping it balanced and grounded. Now, Prince served as a U.S. Navy SEAL, completing rigorous training in the Buds Class 188 in 1993, and deploying to Haiti, the Middle East, and the Balkans. His supporters see this as proof of discipline, patriotism, and real-world competence, skills that he later channeled into entrepreneurship. He founded Blackwater in 1997, turning it into a major player in the private security sector, starting with a 6,000-acre training facility in North Carolina. He filled a gap for specialized military training and logistics, eventually securing over $2 billion in U.S. government contracts by 2010. Now, this alone should throw red flags all over the field of your mind. Fans argue that this shows innovation and a knack for spotting needs, like private sector solutions for global security. Now, through family ties, he's the brother of Betsy DeVos, who's the former U.S. Education Secretary, who's married to former Amway CEO Dick DeVos. He's linked to efforts promoting school choice and private education. He's donated to conservative causes, including the Family Research Council, which some view as upholding traditional values. Prince has pitched ideas like privatizing parts of the Afghanistan war or building secure smartphones through this Unplugged startup. Proponents say he's a forward thinker trying to solve modern problems like privacy and tech, even if the execution is debated. But here's where things take a shady turn, and it's all on record. Eric Prince co-founded Unplugged with a questionable team, including Eran Karpin and Liron Steen, both of whom have ties to Israel's military and intelligence world, notably the Israeli Defense Forces. Aaron Karpin, who serves as Unplugged's Chief Technology Officer, is a veteran of Israel's Unit 8200, which is an elite IDF cyber intelligence unit often compared to the NSA. But check this out. Before Unplugged, Karpin worked at Communitake, which is an Israeli startup linked to the NSO group, which is infamous for its Pegasus spyware. Now, in case you don't know about Pegasus, it's a zero-click spyware, meaning it can infect a device without requiring the target to click a link or download anything. Once it's installed, it's granted near total access, including data extraction of everything on the device, real-time monitoring, including cameras, microphones, GPS tracking, and keystroke monitoring, and it's designed to be completely undetectable and self-destructing if it senses any kind of exposure. And there's a lot more about Pegasus surveillance we can talk about that would take up an entire video. At Communitake, Karpin helped to develop the Intact phone, which was marketed as a military-grade secure device leveraging his Unit 8200 experience in cybersecurity and encryption. Now, that background right there directly shaped Unplugged's tech, like its Libertas operating system, which claims to prioritize privacy. Laron Stein, who's Unplugged's chief operating officer, also has an IDF connection, though less detailed publicly. Reports tie him to Israel's tech and security sectors, where IDF service is common, especially in roles feeding into cyber startups. His operational role at Unplugged complements Karpin's tech focus, but specific IDF unit details aren't as clear as Karpin's Unit 8200 stint. Now, I'm sure it hasn't escaped your attention that these IDF ties matter, because Unit 8200 alumni often flow into Israel's private tech scene, sometimes raising eyebrows about surveillance tech origins, like NSO's spyware scandals, which could take up another video. So the smartphone Unplugged has this pitch. It's anti-surveillance, promising a phone free of big tech tracking. But Karpin's past with Communitake, pre-NSO split, and Unit 8200 sparks questions about whether these skills could cut both ways. No hard evidence shows Unplugged itself is compromised, but the IDF link, especially via Karpin, fuels skepticism, and rightly so, among privacy hawks. And I think that's warranted. Based on these simple open source facts, it is concerning that Ian would aspire to getting an Eric Prince phone. But couldn't it be that he just doesn't know? It could also be that he intentionally promoted it. Could it be, as Polly suggests, that this could have been a paid product placement? Honestly, we just don't know. Now, Blackwater became infamous during the Iraq War. The 2007 Nisour Square massacre, where Blackwater guards killed 17 Iraqi civilians, drew global outrage. 4 guards were convicted and 1 for murder, though Trump pardoned them in 2020. Now, critics say that Prince's leadership fostered a reckless culture prioritizing profit over accountability. Detractors call him a mercenary who cashed in on conflict. Blackwater's $600 million in CIA contracts and its roles in Iraq and Afghanistan fuel accusations that he exploited war for personal gain. His net worth is estimated close to $1 billion. Eric Prince was also a major Trump donor in 2016. He's been tied to murky dealings, like a 2017 Seychelles meeting with a Putin ally probed by Mueller's team as a potential Trump-Russia back channel. He's accused of lying to Congress about it, even though he claims the transcript was wrong. This, plus his sister's role in Trump's cabinet, makes him a lightning rod for conspiracy theories on the Democrat side. But then who can really take stock in the left versus right paradigm lie? Eric Prince has described himself as a libertarian and a Christian, once saying he saw Blackwater as a way to fight Islamic extremism post-Rwanda genocide. Supporters call it conviction, and critics say it's a crusader mindset that justifies violence. His donations to Pat Buchanan and Rick Santorum hint at a hard right streak. He worked with the UAE and China via Frontier Services Group and even pitched immigration deportation camps for Trump's administration in 2025. Some see this as savvy business, and others call it chilling, especially given Blackwater's abysmal human rights record. His unplugged smartphone promised impenetrable privacy, but was slammed by experts at MIT Technology Review as overhyped. This all connects with global AI fears. I mean, could a guy with his track record design something sinister? No evidence says it's a data harvesting machine, but skepticism about his motives definitely runs deep, as should skepticism about Android and Apple phones. And to add insult to injury, Erik Prince and Peter Thiel have known ties, primarily through their overlapping business, political, and ideological interests. While the full extent of their relationship isn't exhaustively documented in public records, several connections stand out based on available information. First of all, both men have been major players in conservative political circles, particularly around Donald Trump's orbit. Prince, the founder of Blackwater, and Thiel, the billionaire co-founder of PayPal and Palantir, were significant financial backers of Trump's 2016 campaign. They both donated to the same super PAC, Make America Number One, which supported Donald Trump and funded Cambridge Analytica's data operations. This shared investment suggests at least a loose alignment in their political networks, including ties to figures like the Mercer family, who also backed the Political Action Committee. Their professional worlds intersect more directly through technology and defense ventures. Thiel's Palantir, which is a data analytics firm with deep ties to U.S. intelligence and military contracts, has worked in areas that complement Prince's expertise in private security and paramilitary operations. Some reports highlight a specific link, like in 2008, Palantir secured early contracts with the U.S. military, reportedly facilitated by Prince and Michael Flynn, then a key figure in military intelligence. Flynn's push for Palantir adoption came after demos impressed him, and Prince's connections in the defense world likely greased the wheels, though hard evidence of Prince's direct involvement is anecdotal rather than definitive. Now, beyond business, they've appeared together socially and strategically. After Trump's 2016 win, Thiel showed a photo to a New York Times columnist of himself, Prince, and Trump at a Heroes and Villains party hosted by Robert Mercer, calling it, quote, not safe for the internet. This suggests a camaraderie beyond mere acquaintance. Prince also advised Trump's transition team informally, overlapping with Thiel's official role, which hints at coordinated influence. Their interests align further in tech ventures like Carbine, which is an Israeli-linked surveillance firm where Prince has ties through co-founder Litel Leshem, who worked with his Frontier Services group, and Thiel is an investor. While not co-founders, their mutual involvement points to a shared ecosystem of privacy tech and security projects, often with Israeli intelligence connections. That's Prince via Unplugged's IDF Veterans Founders, and Thiel via Palantir's work with Israel. Critics speculate about deeper, even personal ties, but no solid proof backs any claim. What's clear is a practical partnership. Thiel brings strategy and capital, while Prince offers operational muscle. They both claim to be libertarian-leaning and anti-establishment. But in opposition to this claim, Prince praises Israel's pager attacks, and Thiel supports AI-driven warfare. So yeah, they are definitely tied together. They're tied through money, through politics, through tech defense ventures, and more importantly, they're tied together through Israel. Erik Prince's career shows how intent matters. Were Blackwater participants involved in inherent evil? Did his war zone presence spiral into abuse, or did it start as abuse? Is his phone venture a genuine stab at privacy, or is it a Trojan horse? There's no proof he's building a data collector, but his history of pushing boundaries and dodging oversight feeds those what-if scenarios at the very least. Prince is often seen as operating where rules are thin, like international waters or conflict zones. The bottom line is that Erik Prince is a mix of talent and trouble. To some, he's a patriot and an innovator. To others, he's a warlord and an opportunist. His story is definitely a warning about power, tech, and human choices. But what do you think? Does the good outweigh the bad, or is Erik Prince a cautionary tale? Why do you think Ian mentioned Erik Prince's phone on the most popular podcast on the planet? Was it intentional? Did he mention it out of ignorance? You think it was a paid product placement? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give this video a like, and share it with everybody you know. I'll see you in the next video.